Hello everyone, Joe Bishop here, Bishop Backwoods Survival. Today I'm here to show you how to make a fire. All right. I'm sure if you're a survivalist or thinking about being a survivalist or watch anything like Naked and Afraid or anything like that, you've probably seen one of these, which is a fire still, and it's made by sparking. All right. I'm sure if you watch Naked and Afraid, you've seen people not be able to get fire for several days. Part of it is the tinder that they're using is wet, or the humidity's up. And I've watched some of the best survivalists struggle on some of them TV shows with fire still. All right. It's better if you got carbon. This ain't carbon. This is probably some kind of stainless because it don't rust, but it still makes a spark. But if you had like a carbon steel knife, it'd throw a lot better spark, like 10 times better than that. Well, there's a way that you can use this fire still and a thing called char rope or char cloth. Mine's in a rope. All this is a piece of cotton, really fine. I mean, if you look at it, it's really fine, and it's wrapped several, almost like a netting around it. You can get it at Joann's Fabric or Hobby Lobby in the craft section, and it's cheap. I mean, it's like you can probably get like 4 or 5 feet for practically nothing. Well, you're gonna ask yourself, how does that work? You gotta char the end, and what happens, like char cloth, a spark will catch in that pretty easy, and it will hold and burn for a long time. If you ever watch old cowboy movies and you see the guy down there and he's striking 2 pieces of rocks together and he's getting a spark, and the next thing you know he's got this roaring fire. Well, they had it partly right. The part about striking and getting a spark, but they don't show you that they had char cloth, and all it is cotton that's been burnt and put out before it's burned all the way up. All right, I got have a piece of char cloth here that I made, and you make it in an Altoids can, and normally you just keep it in there, and anytime you get to the point where you need more, you just cut up more cotton. It's got to be cotton, 100% cotton. Can't be a cotton blend or anything like that. You may get something out of a cotton blend, but you're not going to have the good effect that the pure cotton's going to have. Cotton balls work good. They make facial cleaner, little round facial cleaners, come in a big old tube that's all cotton that works really good. So what happens is you take any way to make a spark, whether it be an old lighter or fire steel or a piece of steel and a flint rock that will throw a good spark, and you hold it close to this. I'll do mine like this here, and when it throws a spark, it's going to catch on that. Just like that there. You can see it in the... You probably didn't see it. It's probably holding it. I probably wasn't close enough, but anyway, what you're going to do is you're throwing a spark, and it caught again there, and this burns really slow. All right, and really hot. So what you do is you get your tinder bundle, before my little puppy gets it. You make you a good little bird nest, and this is kind of damp too. I just cut it. It was green. I cut it. This is the inside layer of saw palmetto, kind of like heart of palm. Anyway, let's save a little bit. You put that up in there like so, and you blow on it. Or the other thing you can do, go back and forth. Getting a lot of air in there. There you go, you get your fire going. Let that burn a little bit. Same time, you want to pull your char cloth out because you can reuse that. And what you do is, order for it to be reused again, it's got to be put out. So I put it back inside my Altoids can. And what it is if you know anything about fire, it takes fuel, oxygen, and heat to make a fire. If you don't have all three, you got to picture it as a triangle. If you take one point off the triangle, you won't have a fire. So it's got to have oxygen, it's got to have fuel, and it's got to have heat. And what I'm doing now is taking oxygen away because there's a little tiny hole in there, and I'm just going to cover it up until it's out. But what you do is, like when you need to reuse it, you just pull it out of your fire tin, you set it off, and don't do like I did and leave it in there and burn the hair off your knuckles. I need to burn some of that hair off my knuckles anyway. And I'm gonna check it. I don't think it's out yet because it's still kind of warm in there. Yep, there's still a little piece going, so I'll stick it back in there and leave it in there a couple more minutes, and I'll sit there and I'll try it again and see if it's out, and I'll start another fire. That's Scout and Lexi Lou. Scout trying to wear her out so she'll sleep tonight. You leave that extension cord alone. All right, let's check, see if it's out yet. Nope, still another piece going. I'll smother it out. And you see that it's barely burned anything on there. And this thing's reusable. And if you ever join the Marine Corps, you younger people, you ever join the Marine Corps and you go to cold weather training and you're a smoker, which I advise you not being a smoker or a chewer or a dipper. If you get out there and you are a smoker and you go through that survival school out there, you're going to have to learn how to make a primitive fire, and they will not let you smoke until you can make your own primitive fire. So best thing to do, don't smoke. But if you do, you better learn how to make that primitive fire. All right, let's see if it's out yet. Probably not. Let's try it. Yep, it's out. Not all the way. It was almost out, and I rekindled it. Get her, Scout. Get her. Alright, let's try it again. Actually, bury it. I use some of my char cloth. And you can let that burn up because you make a bunch of sheets all together. The episode of Alone, I tried out for, well, didn't try out. I put in an application for a loan. And the episode I would have been on if I would have got accepted would have been the episode where the guy lost his fire still. And he tapped out because he lost his fire still. Even though he had a fire going, he could have just kept that fire going and kept using embers over and over again. He just would have had to tend to his fire a lot. It would have been a lot of work, but he could, at the same time, he could have been looking back for his fire still. But I think that was just an excuse to get off and go home and say I couldn't do it. But anyway, I always felt like he took my spot. All right. See, little. God dang it! Every time I do it, I'm probably out of. I don't know if y'all seen that or not. I'm gonna do another spot on this side. All right. I'm gonna do it on this side. Let me get down here. Part not having a TV person, I mean a cameraman or camera girl. All right, there it goes. Feed up in there, molding. I'll put a little bit more. Give it some air. And this is really easy to make. Like I said, on the old westerns, and you see the Indian out there doing it, or you seen the cowboy out there trying to make a fire, and he strikes a couple of rocks together, and then next thing you know, they got a roaring fire. They probably wouldn't have a roaring fire, but they would have got a fire. But they don't show you that it took char cloth to do it with. There we go. Anyway, that's the way, and it's cheap. I mean, you can get cotton out of old jeans that you're throwing away, or at the old towels. There's 100 different ways that you can get the stuff for the char cloth. I like the char rope better. It's really easy to use. And I've checked my. Yeah, it's out now. See if I can do this all on camera. I don't know how good my video come out, because like I said, I went and ain't behind it. I got somebody else behind it. There it goes. Oh, it went out. This will burn a long time, really nice and slow. So if you're in a hurry and you didn't get your tinder, if you look at my tinder down here in my fireplace, in my fire pit, that's really too big. That's why my fire didn't start. But I just put some. That's another reason that when people on some of these shows, they get way too big of stuff. If they take their time and prep first, unlike I did in this one, but they prep and they get real fine material, they'll catch pretty easy. And then beside that, have a little bit bigger stuff, and beside that, add bigger stuff. So by the time they actually get the fire going, they can sit there and have a pretty nice little fire going at the same time. But you're not going to do it with big logs. Ain't going to burn, and big twigs ain't going to burn unless I had accelerator on it, like gasoline or something, which I ain't saying you wouldn't. But this is char rope, and you can make char cloth, and I'll show y'all how to make that at a later date. So I'm Joe Bishop, Bishop Backwoods Survival. If you ain't practicing your skills, when it comes time to use them, you won't have them. So get out there and practice. If you ain't subscribed and like my channel, would you please go and do so? I'm going to be giving a giveaway here before too long, so get some friends on there, or wait until I do the giveaway, because whoever's going to win it's going to have more chances of winning by how many people they can get to like and subscribe. So like I said, if you ain't practicing skills, when it comes time to use them, won't have them. Get out and practice.